Today's iPhone 13 Pro Max day. We're gonna jump in and talk about why this phone is a powerhouse for making YouTube videos and content in general. I used it to help film and entirely edit my last two videos. I'll link those down below and at the end, but with that in mind, let's jump right in. Every year phones get more RAM, better processing power, new software updates, better cameras, and with that in mind, as content creators or mobile filmmakers, we can use these devices to up our production. If you're a beginner, you can use it just to start out. If you're advanced, you can use it to add new angles. You can film in 4K, 24, 30, or 60. You can film in Apple ProRes. You can film 1080p and 120 frames a second. You can start to unlock new features and even more when you move into something like Filmic Pro. Then you can take that footage or footage from your camera. You can use like one of the dongles over here to transfer the footage over. You can move into an editor like VN or CapCut, which are both free, and then edit an entire video in 4K and export in a high bit rate. We're gonna jump in and now talk about the cameras on the iPhone 13 Pro Max, but this and everything applies to all phones, all flagships within the last few years. I gotta say, Apple's really killed it this year with the 13 Pro Max cameras. Not just because we have better hardware like bigger sensors, lower apertures, and better stabilization. They've given us access to macro photo and video now, and they've given us better low light performance. That all mixed with the computational AI kills. We have things like cinematic video now, and the overall just filming experience on the iPhone is awesome. You have a variety of lenses from an ultra wide 13 to a 26mm wide, which is the standard and the best camera on this phone. It's equivalent to this. This is about a 24mm. Then you have the 77mm telephoto, so you can shoot things farther away, or if you do it right, get a nice separation from your background and get that nice creamy bokeh. The 13 Pro Max is a dream to film with. We're gonna look at some telephoto footage real quick from the Renaissance Festival that I filmed, just so you can see the stabilization on the longest focal length, just see what the footage looks like. Then we're gonna hop over to some real life example real quick on the front facing camera. I'll see y'all there. We'll use this test footage from the Renaissance Festival filmed on the telephoto lens in 4K to look at the stability as I pan between subjects, like right there, to look at the color in the bright daylight, and it just looks awesome. The tones that the iPhone brings out are a little oversaturated for some people, but I really like the skin tones. As I pan, you can see it does a great job keeping focus. And then the audio, it does a great job at picking everything up. That sword fight sounds awesome. These back cameras really do a fantastic job. I wanted to come outside and show off what the front-facing camera and the raw audio sounds like in a less controlled setting. So I have some nice light from golden hour right now. I would not recommend filming low light with the front-facing camera. It has an electronic stabilization compared to the back cameras, which have a wider field of view on the ultra-wide, lower aperture, and a sensor shift stabilization, leading for a little bit of a nicer shot. But some people have problems framing themselves, and the front-facing camera and being able to see yourself allows you to, one, film easier talking to the camera, and two, center yourself within frame. Hiya, hiya. The audio on this is nice, clean, and crisp. Doesn't deal the best with wind, but it gets Brad G Media's approval, and I'm pretty sure it gets YouTube's approval, because you'll sound a lot better with this than most people that don't have an external audio source. With that in mind, let's hop back up and talk a little bit more about editing with the 13 Pro Max. Now that we're back inside, we're gonna pop over to the iPhone 13. I'm gonna put the screen up right here so you guys can follow along. And I'm gonna open my video editors folder, and you can see a few of the editing programs I have. We're gonna start with the free ones. VN Editor, you can see my entire timeline for this video right here. And I can put everything together. I can download sound directly from Epidemic Sound on Safari, open it in files, and bring it right into here. This program allows me to also choose, for example, the resolution and the FPS that I want to export at, and the bitrate, so that I can see the total estimated file size, and I can choose HDR, no HDR. And that is why I like using VN Editor. 100% free. They do have some paid add-ons with inside, but you don't need those at all to get started. And then CapCut has a few more options. I love CapCut. I've just noticed that the footage is not as good when exporting. So they still have some great options. There's options to stabilize, And then in between, when you split footage, you can click on these and choose what type of effects you want in between. A few different type of clips you can add in. You can do speed ramping, graphing, and all of that. There's so much you can do on the iPhone 13, and with how fast it is, why not edit on it? You can move into some paid programs, like I have the whole Adobe suite, and then this is where I'll upload projects that I want to later edit on my computer. There's not too much that I do with Premiere Rush having the whole Adobe suite on my computer, but it's awesome to have this on the go, especially if this is all I'm gonna bring for a day and I wanna make an entire video. You can absolutely do it. Great battery life. The iPhone 13 Pro Max, definitely recommended. It is a great starter device for YouTube. Any of the flagship phones that have come out recently are. They all film 4K, they film high frame rate, you can slow footage down, you can edit it, you can do color grading in some instances, especially when you get into the paid apps like LumaFusion, which I have on my iPad. It's basically a full editing suite and you can get it directly on your phone. I hope you guys learned and got some high value out of using your phone and the iPhone 13 Pro Max mainly for YouTube. If you guys want to learn some more, follow along down below. I thank you for watching. This is Brad G Media signing out. I hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace.